Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Apple report for Friday, May 5th, 2023. Before we walk through all the charts, I want to encourage you to please click like, if you would, each and every time you watch the daily Apple report. It does help us get found on YouTube. When people search for Apple analysis, the more likes per views we get, the likelier it is we'll be found, which is our end game, really, in being noticed. Also, become a Wicked Stocks, YouTube channel subscriber. You'll be provided new notification each and every time new content has been uploaded. That includes the daily Apple and daily Tesla report. And here we are. This channel formation we have now tested 171.35. Now the actual high was placed on Wednesday at 170.92, but well inside the 1% zone, 169.63. So we pushed into that zone and we have now fallen off. The question is, can we sell off from here? Now, odds favor being short here. This is such a big picture area. Also, odds favor, as I've been mentioning now for weeks and months, liquidating a long position here. For the last, I can go back a little bit in time and say that in early February, we called this a 3 to 5 month target at 171.03. And about a month and a half ago, we called it a 2 to 3 week target above 160.49. So we've met the objective for a long time. I've been mentioning reaching for 170 or 172 out of the money calls, and we've reached that area. So this is profit taking opportunity and short setting opportunity for those of you who play the short side, whether that's going short the stock itself or perhaps reaching for out of the money puts. So I'm going to go to kind of the big picture here with respect to what's possible here. I can't say we almost tested 163.25 on Thursday. We might actually test that today. This is kind of the 1 to 2 week time frame. 163.25. 154.22 is sort of the 2 month time frame, and 143.78 is kind of the 3 to 5 month time frame. We can test 163.25, bottom out here through next week, rally back into the low 170s again. We could trade inside this zone for the next week or two, perhaps. That's why I call 154.28 the 2 month downside possibility. Now, if we close today below 163.25, it goes to more of a 2 week, 2 to 3 at the most. I'd say more like a 2 week likelihood whereby we would test 154.28. That could contain, because of its longevity, the longer-term dynamic that it holds, contain monthly selling pressure. So we could come off of 154.28 and perhaps back into the low 170s again within several weeks, 3 to 5 weeks of doing so. And that's why I call 143.78 the 3 to 5 month a possibility, because not unless we close below 154.28 do I see then a 2 to 3 week bearish continuation down to 143.78. So, as I've been saying, you could have or could still, I don't know about buying these puts anymore, the 162, 163 puts, but you could still reach for 155 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least a couple of months, or the 145 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least 6 months. That's all still valid. Let's take a look at the day itself. I'll remind you that, we put out a key reversal high on Wednesday, which is a new pullback high, reached into that long-term resistance area, sold off, settled below Wednesday's low. That in itself is a sign of weakness. On Thursday, Tuesday's low. On Thursday, we gapped below this low, and that set us up we actually gapped well below it, and we came off of that nicely. So, what I see here, this blue line is actually an intermediate channel structure. I have that as an intraday support level today, 164.65. 166.84 is an upside Fibonacci. It is just below Thursday's high of 167.04. I think if we push through 166.84, this 168.25 formation is in reach today, where we could actually place a daily high and then ease off of here. So for intraday trade, 164.65 our downward pivot point, 166.84 our upward pivot point, pushing above 166.84, 168.25 is likely. Breaking 164.65, this 163.25 level is likely. At 163.25, once again, we can bottom out through next week. So here, if you're a short-term options trader, you may reach for 170 or 171 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least a week. You may go a couple of weeks out on that. And so there's that. Hi, if you enjoy watching our daily Apple report, you'll love our daily Triple Q and SPY reports. They're presented in the same 5 to 10 minute video format. Our daily SPY and Triple Q analysis provides directional market signals that are correlated with highly specific price support and resistance levels. Whether your trading time horizon is short or longer term, we promise you a distinctive edge in your trading of the SPY and Triple Q. We offer a 5-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. So go to wickedstocks.com right now and start receiving your daily SPY and daily Triple Q reports today. Now, upside, if we close today above 168 and a quarter, we should retest Monday, Tuesday of next week this long-term resistance area, once again on the weekly chart at 171.35 and dropping. Just a reminder that 169.63 represents the start of the 1% zone, which is that zone that begins 1% below the long-term resistance at 171.35. It is your profit-taking and short-setting opportunity on a, it doesn't matter whether it's day trading or whether it's 3 to 5 day swing trading, 3 to 5 week position trading, even 3 to 5 month position trading. Because of the significance of this, we could come off of this, as I mentioned earlier, all the way back into the 140s perhaps over the next 3 to 5 months. So there's that. Now let's continue with the downside, actually. I don't know what's going to play out today. I do know there's earnings and such, and that if we do close below 163 and a quarter, actually, let's talk about breaking 163 and a quarter today. You can see lower right, I've got 159.89. That would be down here, and I think that is likely, actually, if we break 163 and a quarter, and if we close below 163 and a quarter, and if during the day you went long by buying 170 or 172 out of the money calls, I would highly suggest liquidating those and consider reaching for, once again, 154, 155 out of the money puts. If we close below 163 and a quarter, this becomes our next 2-week target, 2 to 3 at the most. And so if we close below 163 and a quarter, you could buy the 155 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least several weeks. And that is a level that, if tested, say between now and the end of May, can absorb selling through June. And from here, we could come off of it nicely. So forth and so on, down to a possible 143.78 area over the coming months. That is, once again, the significance of the 171.35 long-term channel top. Now, upside, in the event we close today, I'm not expecting it, but if we close above 171.35, it really needs to be, once again, by a 1% margin to the upside. So a settlement today, Friday, May 5th, 173.06 or higher, puts us firmly in the bullish camp as we move through the rest of the year. By the end of June, I would expect a retest of the 182.94 all-time high from January of 22. And over the next full year, more than likely a lot sooner than that, 217.40. This channel top rising, pushing into the 220s over the coming weeks, 230s later in Q3. And so closing above 171.35 by a 1% margin, you could either reach for 183 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least a couple months, or just buy 230 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least a full year. I would give this about a 5 to 8 month target. Last thing I will say about this upside, that if we do close above 171.35 today, and you bought those 155 puts or 145 puts or 163 puts, whatever the case may be, I would recommend liquidating those. I don't think you're going to see much out of that trade in the coming weeks, and you may then reach for those out of the money calls, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to leave it at that, actually, for Friday's Apple Report. Please click like, subscribe, check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Apple.